Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Mike, and thanks for joining me this morning. I want to offer you a shorter message this morning, but one that's very personal. It's a little bit off the track. Usually our calls are about how to sell more homes in less time this year. But in light of some of the world events that are going on right now, I want to address this, and I want to address how we as top producing agents respond to this. Okay? And first I want to start by sharing a little story with you about just one of the ladies in real estate that I just respect the most, and it's my good friend Diane Bryant. And many of you know Diane. Diane's a pistol. I just love her to death. I always learn something every time I'm around her. And it never fails that when I have the chance to speak with Diane, in her strong Southern way, she conveys this message to me. At the end of the call, I might say something like, well, Diane, have a great day. And Diane will say, Michael, I'm doing my best Diane imitation now. Michael, you don't control what kind of day I have, honey. And I'm like, yeah, I know, Diane, it was just an expression. Well, I just want you to understand, Michael, that you don't control what kind of day I have. And I love it. And I miss talking to her sometimes because she knows that it's just an expression, but she's coaching me. And she's probably coaching herself a little bit. Every time she does it, she's reminding me, hey, Michael, nobody else controls what kind of day I have today. I control that. I'm in charge of my attitude and disposition. I'm in charge of what happens to me in my life. I'm in charge of the success that I have or I don't have. I'm in charge of that. The media is not in charge of it. The NBA is not in charge of it. Fulton County Schools aren't in charge of it. The World Health Organization is not in charge of it. I'm in charge of it. And I want, this morning I was just thinking about Diane, and I sent her a text because having voices around you like that, when times get weird and uncertainties in the air, those are the voices that come back into my mind. Somebody like Diane reminding me, Michael, you're in charge of your attitude today and not anybody else, and don't you ever forget it. And all those times she offered me that advice, it was for times like this when things get a little weird and it's scary and it's uncertain, and what's this going to mean to me and to us and to our economy and to the people, and what's all this mean? And then Diane's voice comes back into my head, and I'm like, that's right, turn that TV off. Let's start putting the right kind of messages in my ears and my brain. So turn the TV off. Let's find a good podcast. Let's find an empowering book. Let's get around the right people and control the voices and the messages that are coming in at this time. Let's don't be overly dramatic. Let's don't be frivolously unattentive. Let's remember that things aren't usually ever as good or as bad as they seem at the moment. Let's understand that some of the people that are spreading the drama are also trying to sell you the antidote for the drama, so that people are constantly trying to make money off of manipulating me and you. So are people overreacting? I think it depends on who you are. I have a friend of mine that's very high up with the Fortune 500 company, and I was asking him about it this past weekend because he travels internationally all the time on his business. And he said, yeah, our company shut down all travel. And I said, don't you think that's an overreaction? He goes, we absolutely think it's an overreaction. But Mike, if one person that may have already had a compromised health condition, but if that one person was to get sick on company business, then our CEO would probably lose his job and the media would ridicule us and hurt our business. So are we being overly cautious? Of course we are. But in the world today, we can't afford the lawsuit. We can't afford the media ridicule. We can't afford it. And if you were running our company, you would make that same decision. And folks, when you look around and you see things and you think that they're overreacting, keep in mind that the decision points that they have to make aren't always obvious to the rest of us. If you're running the NBA, that's probably a smart decision for them to make, because if one person got seriously ill or, heaven forbid, died because they went to a basketball game, the NBA would be the joke of the world. So they have to be overly cautious. And if we can be overly cautious for a short period of time to get this behind us, then that's probably what organizations like that need to do. What does that mean to you and me as real estate agents? It doesn't mean anything. It could mean this: you let other people go off on their drama tirades. There are times to stay away from Facebook and Instagram. This is one of those times to me. I don't need to see anybody else's jokes. I don't need to see everybody else's opinions from their little view of the world out of their window without an understanding of other implications. I don't need to see all that. What I need to do is I need to control my own attitude today. So let's turn off the news and let's go back to work. And Diane, if you're out there listening to me today, thank you for being one of those great voices around me that helps me remember that nobody else controls what kind of day I have today. Just me. Now, folks, let's go out there and make it happen for ourselves today.